Welcome everyone to the 2021 James I. O'Neill High School National Honor Society Induction Ceremony. We have a beautiful evening planned and I hope you all enjoy it. We will now listen to the singing of our national anthem by the O'Neill Select Chorus.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, fortress gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red rays above bursting in air, proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now I would like to introduce Miss Brand, our principal, for her speech.
Good evening, teachers, administrators, families, and of course, inductees of this year's National Honor Society. I'm honored to be speaking to you today. Coming up with an inspirational speech in a time like this is not always easy. On the one hand, I always want to be hopeful. On the other hand, we're living during a difficult time, so making meaning of such circumstances can be hard to do. It goes without saying that this year has been like no other we have ever faced, and hopefully that we will ever face again. We've all been challenged in ways that undermine any sense of fairness, that have hurt the development and fulfillment of dreams, that contradicted what we all know to be the best way to learn. One good thing about this past year and a half is that it's forced us to reconsider what we value and what is valuable. For me, one absolute lesson is the importance of having people in our everyday lives. Really, it is through others that we come to life, that our existence takes on new meaning. Why? Because so many of our experiences are defined by what we do with other people. As students, you hone your thinking through others. You act as a leader for others. You show kindness to others. And you display character based on the ways you are challenged by the situations and people around you. You've had some of those experiences taken away from you in the last 15 months. Now it's time to pick up the torch again, to light new flames in the world around you. Just as this ceremony reveals, the pillars of NHS are a source of light. They are what bring you to others, the way you illuminate and forge new paths. To do that, however, you must figure out who it is you most want to be and what you want to bring to the world. Do you have it in you to be someone who makes a mark on the world? Right now, you may be questioning how much of an impact you can really have. That's a question that follows us all through life. Recently, I read a novel, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. It has a very sad premise. The novel begins with the story of a woman who's so filled with regret and sadness over what her life has become that she decides to end it. Instead of dying, however, she goes to a kind of purgatory. She arrives at a library that holds every story of her life and how it would have turned out if she made different choices. As she begins to read them, she actually gets to live that life to see how that version of herself turns out. Sometimes that life is good and sometimes not. With every story she lives, she learns a little more about what it means to be alive. She finds the process frustrating though. Luckily, she has a guide to help her, Mrs. Elm, her high school librarian, and one of the cherished people in her life who helps her through hard times. At one point, Mrs. Elm gives her some valuable advice. She tells her, quote, "And if you ever were a pawn, maybe we all are, then you should remember that a pawn is the most magical piece of all. It might look small and ordinary, but it isn't, because a pawn is never just a pawn. A pawn is a queen in waiting. All you need to do is find a way to keep moving forward, one square after another, and you can get to the other side and unlock all kinds of power. One part of this quote struck me right away. A pawn is just a queen in waiting. For those of you who may not know the rules of chess, when a pawn reaches the end line of an opponent, it can be transformed into any piece you want it to be, even the all-powerful queen. In the game, that's called a promotion. How magical that we too are just like these pieces, waiting for our chance to be promoted. But the point of this novel is that we don't have to wait. We have to choose. We are all pawns until we decide not to be. Becoming a queen, a knight, a rook, or a bishop is just one step away, but it's a step we must each make in our own time. If you keep moving forward, you are bound to do incredible things. Coming out of the pandemic, you will be given new opportunities to get involved with others. Take advantage of these opportunities as they come your way. They will be how you build and reveal your character. Someone can get good grades if they decide to, just by cheating. They can decide to help others just to have an activity to put on their college application. They can choose to abuse their power as a leader. But good character means you will do the right thing even when no one is watching. Good character is taking the steps needed in order to transform from a pawn to a queen. That's what makes a National Honor Society student stand out from all the rest. So enjoy this moment and all you've accomplished, but remember that this is just a starting point. You will have many years ahead of you to continue to blossom and grow as a person. You will have the chance to earn your promotion. I hope that you will become all that you want to be, and you will become the best version of yourselves in the years to come. Thank you, and congratulations.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Adelaide Crow, and as president of the National Honor Society, it is my pleasure to host the induction ceremony for the National Honor Society here at James I. O'Neill High School. For those of you who are not familiar with NHS, we are a service-based organization that selects members based on their selflessness, integrity, leadership potential, and commitment to academics. Our membership currently consists of 26 students who possess the characteristics of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. This year, we will induct an additional 31 students. Before we recognize these young men and women, it is important to remember that they have demonstrated the following 4 qualities which are pivotal to membership in this society. Scholarship, by maintaining an excellent grade point average in the pursuit of higher education. Leadership, by setting strong positive examples for their peers and by motivating them to take part in productive activities. Service, by giving rather than taking whenever possible, as they sacrifice their time volunteering for school and community events. And finally, character, by establishing a personality that sets a good example and always striving to have a positive influence on those they encounter. At this time, 4 current members who have been chosen marshals to represent this chapter will explain each mandatory principle. Andrew Lyle will now talk about scholarship.
Hello everyone, I'm Andrew Lyle, and today I will be speaking about a central pillar of NHS, scholarship. When preparing this speech, I was given one order. Do not look up the definition of scholarship to use in your introduction. After a few hours of trying to be clever, and thinking about how terrible a scholar I am for not being able to make an introduction, I decided to just look up scholarship on Google. However, the results were quite interesting, and they were not what I expected. Pages and pages of various scholarships to universities and colleges filled up the webpage. I found it quite fitting. After all, that's all we can hear about these days. What scholarship did you get? So, even though the internet does not seem to care, I will try to answer the question of what scholarship really is. When being considered for a scholarship, you will generally be asked for a resume. This is generally what the world sees scholarships as, just a sum of your parts. I'm a part of mock trial, basketball, soccer, but does that really make me what a scholar is? If it was the goal that I was attaining, there would be very few scholars. Scholarship would not be a pillar of NHS if it was as one-size-fits-all as I just made it seem like. One that has scholarship is a pursuer of truth. It would be hard to qualify a person who involves so many clubs and has a very high GPA as the one person with scholarship, because we all can have it. Scholarship is about the earnest desire to pursue truth. It's not about the goal, it's about your attitude in attaining it. Scholars will put themselves out there and devote themselves to what they do. And they won't worry about how many things do I have on a resume, and how much is it going to stack up. If colleges see it, great, but that's not the goal. Use this opportunity in high school and through NHS to fulfill the truest part of being a student, which is being a scholar. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. The second essential quality of the National Honor Society is leadership. Leaders are important in every aspect of life. In and out of the classroom, leadership takes on many different forms. Justice will talk about leadership.
Congratulations to all of the inductees tonight. I know it is a great honor to be welcomed into the ranks of the National Honor Society. It is my belief that everyone being inducted into the NHS today has the potential to be a great leader. I am certain that you have all the qualities and characteristics of a natural-born leader, but what are those qualities? I have come to identify some of the character traits that I believe make the best, most understanding, and most effective leaders. Some of these characteristics are humility, selflessness, and ingenuity. Through my experience, I have found that these three characteristics, as well as others, have the ability to impact those you lead in the greatest way. I came up with these character traits based on my 6 years of experience in Boy Scouts, but I believe that these traits can transfer to your everyday life as a natural leader. Growing up, I never understood exactly what leadership was until I was in a position where I had to lead those around me. In Boy Scouts, I found myself in my first real position of leadership in 7th grade. I was a patrol leader, the person in charge of overseeing the rank advancement of scouts under my command, ensuring that these scouts were safe and fed on outings, and planning and running scout meetings and trips. I learned quickly that holding a title does not garner the respect of those under your leadership. This brings me to my first characteristic of a great leader. A leader should have humility. My dad told me that one of the best ways to earn people's respect as a leader is to show them that you are willing to do anything you task them with. You can show people that even though you have the chance to abuse your power, you are willing to make yourself their equal. In Boy Scouts, I did this by putting myself on the schedule to clean dishes with the scouts I was in charge of, participating in campsite cleanups, and helping my patrol pack our gear for trips. I made sure to help out in any tasks I delegated to the scouts under my command. This is my first character trait of a great leader, the ability and willingness to place yourself in the shoes of others to better help you understand how to lead them, and humility to do work others in your position may see as below themselves. Whether in a position of leadership or in everyday life, you must be compassionate and selfless to those around you. It is easy to ignore those around you and pay attention to your own needs, but a great leader is always looking out for others. The best decision a leader can make is one that keeps the well-being of everyone under their command in mind. Again, drawing from my experience in Boy Scouts, I remember my first camping trip as the senior patrol leader of my troop. As senior patrol leader, I was responsible for the well-being of every scout on this trip, so I was nervous and wanted to make sure it went well. It was early fall, and the weekend of this trip, it was roughly 40 degrees outside and pouring rain without any sign of stopping. By the morning, scouts had been complaining to me about how they had no dry clothes left because the rain had gotten into their tents, and the temperature was making them begin to lose feeling in their extremities. Personally, I was fine and wanted to stay for the rest of the trip. I still had dry clothes, and I was actually having a lot of fun, but I called a meeting with the patrol leaders and the adults, and we all agreed to leave camp early for the well-being of our scouts. Selflessness is about making the best decision for those around you, no matter its effect on yourself. It's about putting others before yourself. This quality makes a great leader because it ensures that your actions are never selfish. A selfless leader is never willing to sacrifice those around them for their own personal gain. So far, I've talked about what makes someone a great leader and what might make you remembered fondly by those you lead. But what builds your legacy as a leader? What is it that makes you remembered? This is where a leader's ingenuity and perseverance comes in. Your legacy as a leader is set through the changes you make to the organization you lead. I know it might be getting old, so this is my last example from my time in Boy Scouts. In Boy Scouts, there was a hierarchy of leadership positions, and some held much more power than others. When I first joined the leadership in my troop, I had to begin attending monthly leadership meetings. During my first term as a leader, these meetings were horrible. They lacked communication, and everyone who wasn't the senior patrol leader, which was the highest leadership position you could get, was too afraid to voice their opinions. If you know me, you know I like voicing my opinions, so I went to the adults in our troop and asked if they could help try to foster more conversation at those meetings. In no time, we began having discussions and bouncing ideas off one another. We collaborated, and our meetings and events became much more enjoyable, and our troop grew. Through my time in leadership, I helped change the way trips were planned, allowing scouts the opportunity to plan camping trips themselves. I reintroduced leadership meetings on camping trips. I planned the first backpacking trip for the troop in years. and I helped teach a new generation of leaders how to effectively lead. How can these character traits be used in your everyday lives? The traits that make up leadership do not just exist to make you a competent leader. These traits give you the ability to understand others and impact them in a positive way. I encourage you to think about how you can display these qualities in class, at home, and around your friends. I have no doubt that each and every one of you is uniquely capable, and in no time will have the chance to show off your prowess for leadership. Again, congratulations to all our inductees, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Justice. The third quality, service, involves voluntary donating time and energy with little reward except the knowledge that you have done something to assist another. I will now talk about service. Congratulations on being inducted to the National Honor Society. I am Adelaide Crow, and today I will be talking to you about one of the 4 pillars of NHS, service. When you think of service, you may just think of a chore or something you have to do to check it off a list. You may just be counting down the hours until you've completed all of your service hours for the year, or go to a community service event because your parents make you go. But there's so much more to service than it being an obligation. Throughout my life, my mom has always said to my brothers and I, when you walk into a room, ask yourself what you can do to help. I have always remembered this throughout my life, and it has helped me become more aware of the little things you can do to help. For example, if you ask yourself what you can do when you walk into the cafeteria, you will notice and pick up that piece of trash on the floor that you would have never seen before. Or you'll notice that your teacher needs help picking up the papers that their previous class left on their desks. This is what service truly is, to put the needs of others before your own, to make someone else's job easier, to always be thinking of how you can help. True service is done out of selflessness and should not be done for selfish reasons. When you give up your time to help someone else, never expect anything in return. Yes, service can be an organized event, such as helping out at a school event or volunteering at a homeless shelter, but service is also the small things you can do to help, like picking up trash you see in the hallway or staying after class to help a teacher clean their classroom, or even just holding the door for someone. Once you reach your required service hours for the quarter, don't stop there. Continue to serve and always strive for more. We should never limit the amount of service that we give. Once you graduate high school, no one is going to keep track of how many hours of service you complete. There's no amount or limit of how much you should help someone. Service involves sacrifice. You may have to give up an afternoon with your friends or have less time to finish your homework, but it is always worth it to make someone else's day better. Always remember, service is not a chore or obligation. It is a privilege. Congratulations again on becoming members of the National Honor Society, and good luck. Finally, we come to character. Character often defines us as individuals. Character is reflected not only in personality, but in actions as well. It is also displayed through maintaining scholarship, leadership, and service. Davis Yoshitani will talk about character.
Good evening. My name is Davis Yoshitani, and I'm the current secretary of the National Honor Society chapter here at O'Neill. I want to congratulate all the new inductees being honored tonight, and delightfully, I have the privilege of speaking to you all about the importance of character. Throughout our lives, we have all been exposed to this word of character. I remember when I was younger, my elementary school had a hallway with a big banner on the wall. It had the 6 pillars of character in 6 different bright colors. They read, trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. I remember seeing those bolded words and feeling an overwhelming importance from them. I was always worried about making mistakes in my character. What would happen if I broke one of these columns? I envisioned the entire structure crumbling on top of me. I was terrified to have any faults, and so out of fear, I strove to be perfect. Although eventually, I grew up and left behind the columns in that hallway, I still had their message embedded in my brain. I continued to strive to be perfect. I thought it was possible to fulfill each column every day and eventually do no wrong. I was in a very unhealthy relationship with my character. I put intense pressure on myself to show ideal character 24/7, and I would feel the worst effects of this relationship when I would make a mistake. I felt like I kept failing myself and everyone around me. When I would catch myself falter in trustworthiness, show disrespect, or be unfair with others, I would become extremely critical of my actions and essentially break down emotionally. My relationship with my character was at an all-time low. Then, I eventually learned one of the most important lessons in my life, a lesson I want to share with you all. True character is not just about living your life carrying the weight of 6 pillars on your shoulders, striving to uphold this perfect image. True character is learning to live with imperfections and working to be the best person you can be. You will all make mistakes in life. We all must face this fact. However, instead of shutting down and not being able to cope with your character flaws like I initially did, find ways to own up to your mistakes, repair them, and learn from them. Possessing true character is shown when you take action to change after making an error. The 6 pillars of character are nothing to shy away from, and are some of the most important values a person can have. We are never going to be flawless, so always remember that how you react to your mistakes is what truly defines your character. I wish you all the best of luck in your time left at O'Neill, and implore you to make the most of it. Congratulations, inductees, and thank you.
Thank you, Davis. Once again, thank you to all the speakers for the dedicated effort that they put into their presentations. With these characteristics in mind, it is my delight to introduce the inductees. Kate Barnes, Public Relations Officer of the National Honor Society, will be reading the names and the bios of the inductees.
Maximus Alberici. Max likes to play lacrosse and soccer. His favorite food is eggplant parm, and his favorite sports team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Josephina Arbogast. Josie enjoys playing basketball, running when it is hot outside, and absolutely loves the beach. Arthur Armstrong. Arthur likes to run cross-country and play tennis. He likes academic league, he is an Eagle Scout, and his favorite school subject is chemistry. Sophie Barr. Sophie likes to go out to eat with her friends, especially at Chick-fil-A. She also enjoys playing sports, spending time with her family, and going to the beach. Derek Black. Derek is a junior who runs cross-country and plays lacrosse. He likes spending time with his friends and dog, Tally. Madlyn Bruhl. Madlyn loves to be outdoors, plays volleyball, and she loves to work on her flower garden. Jon Columbie. Jon loves to both play and watch football. He enjoys hanging out with friends, and his favorite food is chicken parmesan. Elizabeth Elgan. Ellie loves to bake, runs cross-country, has 6 younger siblings, lived in Korea for 2 years, and enjoys long walks and watching sunsets. Emily Faint. Emily loves to competitively swim and make music. She loves to learn new languages like French and Korean, and her favorite time of day is late afternoon. Ricardo Fregoso. Ricky loves to play soccer and get over and hit hurdles and track. He enjoys spending time with his dog, Maui, and family. He is also very involved in JRTC. Gretchen Goethals. Gretchen enjoys art and playing the guitar, hanging out with people, and sunny days during the summer. Caleb Hagemaster. Caleb enjoys playing both basketball and tennis, as well as participating in mock trial at O'Neill. Jayda Kirkwood. Jayda likes murder mysteries, movie reviews, and hanging out with her sister. Evan Maasik. Evan is a soccer player and track athlete. He also has dual citizenship with Estonia. Tanner Mason. Tanner likes to ski, run cross-country, and play lacrosse. He also plays the drums, and he enjoys listening to music. Delia McGowan. Delia works as a librarian and has done rowing for 6 years. She loves traveling and learning new things, and her goal in life is to work in a field where she can help others. Zachary McMullin. Zachary likes to hang out with his family, swim, play airsoft, and pet his cat, Coco. Margaret Norberg. Maggie plays volleyball, lacrosse, and track. She tells many dad jokes and enjoys science. Grace Nowicki. Grace likes to swim, bake, go for walks, listen to music, sing and dance, and her favorite food is pasta. Genevieve Oakley. Genevieve likes to read and write, loves spending time with her family and cadets in which they sponsor, and loves to travel. Ashley Ordonez. Ashley is a senior who is planning on majoring in nursing. She played volleyball and softball the majority of her high school years, and she's a part of Red Cross and S2S. She loves spending time with her friends and family. Daniel Peck. Danny enjoys playing tennis on the tennis team and reading books while snuggling with his dogs Dave and Greta. His favorite food is bacon pineapple pizza. Samantha Reeves. Samantha likes to play sports. Her favorite color is green, and her favorite drink is a Shirley Temple. Colby Riley. Colby is a Christian and hopeful future mathematician. He loves his 2 dogs, Duke and Holly, and math stresses him out. Katherine Schreiner. Katherine likes to express herself through creative outlets, like singing, and is the secretary of the O'Neill Drama Club. Lina Sharifi. Lina likes to draw, hang out with friends, and play sports. Aidan Smith. Aidan is a cross-country runner who loves to read, listen to music, and be around friends and family. Grace Suchanyc. Grace likes to read, go on hikes, her favorite subject is history, and her favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate. Keegan Trubenbach. Keegan enjoys sports, spending time with family and friends, and his favorite hobby is chess. Eva Turko. Eva likes riding horses, playing guitar and singing, and her favorite band is Fleetwood Mac. Jayda Van. Jayda is a new transfer to James I. O'Neill and is in her junior year. Katherine Wambeke. Katherine is a junior here at O'Neill. She played on varsity volleyball for the past 3 years and enjoys sitting outside and listening to music. Kyle West. Kyle loves to dominate his opponents on the pickleball and cornhole courts. His favorite hobby is playing with his dog named Rhodey, and Kyle is able to touch his nose with his tongue.
It is always important, especially when joining a prestigious society such as this, to understand what is involved and to make a long-term commitment. I will now ask the inductees to take their oath, which will transform them into members. It will also commit them to be true to the ideals of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Inductees, please stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I pledge myself to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society, to which I have been elected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands. I will be loyal to my school and will maintain and encourage high standards of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Congratulations to all of the new members. This concludes the National Honor Society Induction Ceremony.